We saw some doubles in your World Cup video. Is this something you will continue to work on?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll definitely be working on doubles. I still am. I still do work on doubles, just not to the extent that I do with singles. With doubles, the way I see it, it's more half the moves twice as much, because you're limiting the amount you can do, because both your hands are like they've got chucks in it at the same time. You can do aerials in between, but I find a lot more variety with singles. I find it more interesting. But yeah, obviously I do plan to work on it, and I mean I've just been sent the pro chucks by Lee, and I mean if you actually compare the sizes, I mean those are the pro chucks and those are the chucks I'm using at the moment, and you can tell there's quite a difference there, thickness, weight wise, and these are obviously a lot safer for using your doubles. So I think I'll be using them for doubles, but I think I'm going to be sticking with the single chucks mostly. But one of the main reasons for that is because I've got a big nasty scar running all the way down my arm, and that's from skateboarding a few years ago. So it's a metal plate, and that's one of the main reasons I don't do a lot of doubles. So what I do is a rarity, but yeah, it's something I need to work on, definitely.
What are your views on chain versus cord, the epic conversation? Has there been any change since you received your U-swivels?
I actually find it pretty hard to weigh out the pros and cons between chain and cord now. I mean, before it was quite easy because I wasn't a fan of ball bearings, because they have a tendency to fail randomly, and if you're unlucky enough for other people to be around at the time when those explode, it can be really dangerous and you can hurt people. I mean, I've seen bearing chucks just go flying. I've embedded chucks in my ceiling. They've actually got an inch deep before and actually hung there. So I don't like ball bearing chucks at all. But with the U-swivel, I don't know, I'll show you this. It's like there's no bearings in there, but they've got a good spin on them, which is really unusual for me. I mean, I've not even oiled these up yet. I used a bit of speed cream when I first got them, and it seems to have lasted for quite a while. The strength on them is phenomenal. I thought, honestly, I was a bit skeptical because I thought I would have broken these by now. But the actual, the smoothness of the rotations is untrue. I was really surprised by that. So I'm leaning towards the U-swivels at the moment, but at the same time, they're not as good for finger spins or wheels. So it depends what you like, really. And I can still do the finger spins, still do the wheels. I don't do them as much as a general rule anyway. But I really can't choose at the moment. It's too hard a question. I think they're both good for different things. But as a general rule, I would choose cord. But for things like these Vera chucks, because they're so heavy and so beefy, the U-swivel is probably ideal for that.
What in your life is important to you besides freestyle?
I'd say there's a lot of things that are important to me in life besides freestyle. Freestyle is very important to me because it's my creative outlet, and it's one of the things that keeps me going, really. If I didn't have it, I don't know what I'd actually be doing with my time. But the important things in my life, obviously friends and family and all that cliche shit, but at the moment I seem to be getting a very high interest in physics. I don't know if that's due to the chucks, but it's like just watching planetary rotations, like just learning about astrophysics, gravity and things like that. It's just really, really interesting, and I've come up with quite a few theories that I'm trying to test out at the moment, like circular universe theory. I've tried to find some information on that and it's very slim, but I'd say yeah, that's one of my main sort of interests besides freestyle. I want to learn the secret of the universe, what everything is, why, not the meaning of everything, but how it came to be as it is now. And basically other things other than that is philosophy, and I've been doing that for years now, and I'm not really one of those sort of people you'd expect to do philosophy, but it's more of a sort of an enlightenment thing. All of a sudden something will just pop into my head and I have to write it down. It's stuff like, I was studying like Zen teachings not long ago, And I found the main thing, the main problem with the entire world is greed. I know it's probably, you already know that, but I think if we could eliminate greed from the world, it'd be a much better place. And that's a personal choice that everybody has to make, and it's a very, very hard thing to ask for, is to get people to eliminate freedom from one. And I know that's leaning towards Buddhism a bit, but I don't think they're both totally right either. I don't think anybody has. I think you need your own personal philosophies. And I think that's one of my callings in life, is to discover my own path, and not really take too much heed on what other people are trying to tell me, because I know it's very easy to fall in the pattern of what other people try and teach you, and what they teach you to be the correct way of doing things, or the best way to think, the best way to act, things like that. And I think it's all what revolves around carving your own path out, and if you don't do that, you're sort of just repeating previous patterns. And I remember somebody saying to me once, it's an old quote, but if those who do not learn about their history are doomed to repeat it. And I take that to heart entirely. Seeing the New Age philosophers, the Zen Buddhists, anybody who's come up with these sudden epiphanies, they're not always totally 100% right or convicted of their own beliefs themselves. So yeah, it's an ongoing process, but that is the important thing in my life. Truth. More than anything. Truth.
Finally, is there anything you'd like to say to the freestyle community?
What would I like to say? I think one message I would like to get across to everybody: if you want to progress, you've got to put the work in. There's no shortcuts. There is tiny shortcuts, but nothing that will really get you any further than your own work and your own effort is put into it. It seems the more you try and the more you practice and the more of yourself you put into your art, the more you'll get back out of it and the better you'll become. So don't listen to other people. If they tell you, they say, oh, you're shit, don't bother. If people start giving you shitty comments on YouTube and stuff like that, just tell them to fuck off, because most of the time those are just knobheads who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So yeah, to have total disregard for naysayers. If they don't like it, they can just get lost. Yeah, that's what I believe. And yeah, that's about it really. Just stay true to yourself, keep practicing, and if you enjoy it, stick with it, regardless of what the people say to you. See you later.
Folks, there you have it, the incredible Matt Chez. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch our featured freestyler section, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. Keep spinning.